She hasn't left. She's still sleeping in the same bed, still answering your texts, still showing up. And that's exactly what's killing you. Because something is wrong, and you can feel it, but you can't name it. That feeling isn't weakness. That feeling is intelligence. Your instincts are reading a situation your mind refuses to accept. Today, we're not sugarcoating this. We're going through 9 specific signs, behavioral shifts that men consistently miss until it's too late. Not because they're stupid, because they chose hope over pattern recognition. Watch until the end, because sign 8 is the one that destroys men after the fact. And most don't see it until they're already bleeding from it. This is always the first tell. Not because the phone itself matters, but because of what the behavior around it reveals. A woman who has nothing to hide doesn't flinch when you walk past her screen. She doesn't angle it away. She doesn't suddenly need passcodes she never needed before. She doesn't tense up when a notification lands. But now, she does all of that. And when you clock it, she calls it privacy. And maybe she's right. Privacy is healthy in a relationship. But there's a difference between privacy and secrecy, and you already know which one this is. Secrecy has a specific energy. It's not relaxed, it's controlled. It's the energy of someone managing what you can and cannot see. And the reason she's managing it is because access, her emotional access, her attention, her interest, is being redirected to someone else. The phone isn't the problem. The phone is the symptom. The problem is that her transparency started closing. And transparency doesn't close randomly. It closes to protect something. You ask something simple, something any partner would ask after noticing a change. And she explodes. Now you're controlling. Now you're insecure. Now you're doing too much. And here's where a lot of men lose themselves. They take the bait. They start defending the question. They apologize for asking. They shrink their instincts to avoid conflict. Don't. When someone has nothing to hide, innocent questions feel harmless. You ask, they answer. The conversation moves on. Simple, clean, easy. That's what clarity looks like. But when someone is protecting something, those same questions feel dangerous, because answering them honestly would expose what they're protecting. So instead of calming your mind, she attacks your perception. She makes the problem about your insecurity instead of her behavior. That's not a defense, that's a deflection. And a deflection is a confession with extra steps. She'll never say it out loud. She'll never sit across from you and say, "Someone else is setting the standard now." But you feel it. Your flaws look bigger than they used to. Your efforts land weaker. The things she used to accept without comment are suddenly points of friction. You're being measured, but against a scoreboard you can't see. That's the cruelty of silent comparison. And here's what makes it dangerous. A man's natural response is to try harder, give more, prove more. He thinks if he just increases his effort, he can win back the version of her that used to come naturally. But here's the brutal truth. When a woman starts measuring you against emotional excitement coming from somewhere else, your extra effort doesn't make you look stronger. It makes you look more desperate. And desperation doesn't attract, it repels. You can't outwork a feeling she's getting from another source. Effort won't fix a disconnection that started emotionally. Think back to early in your relationship. Conversations had life in them. She told you things, real things, the kind of honesty that made you feel like you were the only person she let all the way in. Now, conversations are surface level. She still talks, but she doesn't open. She still answers, but there's no depth in it. You're having exchanges, not conversations. You're trading information, not intimacy. What you're experiencing is emotional withdrawal. When a woman starts giving her inner world to someone else, she stops giving it to you. Not out of cruelty, but because a person only has so much emotional depth to share, and hers is going elsewhere. When deep conversation dies in a relationship, emotional intimacy starts starving. The structure might still exist, the routine might still exist, but the real connection, the invisible thread that makes a relationship feel alive, is quietly being severed. Your touch lands flat. Your jokes don't land. Your affection gets received like an interruption. She's there, but she's not there. Her body shows up. Her desire didn't, and this extends physically. Warmth changes. Intimacy becomes mechanical or disappears entirely. You start feeling like a roommate she used to be attracted to. The worst part? You can feel the difference, but you can't call it anything, because nothing has technically been said. This is one of the most painful stages for a man, because this is where he used to feel closest, and now that's gone. So what does he do? He chases. He tries to recreate it by force. But here's what chasing warmth from someone who's already withdrawing actually looks like from her perspective. Pathetic. Not because you're weak, but because you're pouring yourself into a space that's already been mentally vacated. You're fighting for a feeling she no longer has available for you. The patience she used to have for you, gone. Small things set her off. Normal interactions carry edge. You start walking on eggshells in your own relationship, wondering what version of her you're going to get today. And most men blame themselves here. They think, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm irritating her. Maybe if I'm softer, calmer, less needy, this will fix itself. But sometimes the irritation isn't about you at all. Sometimes a woman's emotional energy is being electrified by something, someone else. And when she comes back to the familiar, the ordinary you, it feels dull by comparison. What used to feel comfortable now feels heavy. So that heaviness comes out as frustration, as impatience, as a sharpness she can't fully explain, and won't try to. You didn't become unbearable. You became a reminder of the life she's emotionally starting to leave. Most men don't lose women because they were unlucky. They lose them because they were weak in the exact areas women judge hardest. And they never knew what those areas were until it was already over. That's why we created the attraction code. A direct, no-fluff breakdown of what makes a woman respect you, value you, and genuinely fear losing access to you. Not manipulation, not tricks. Just the raw truth about what women respond to and what they walk away from. Link is in the description. Get it. One day she's warm. She laughs. She touches your arm. You think, okay, maybe this was nothing. Maybe I was overthinking it. And then the next day, she's cold again. Distant. Present in body, but absent in spirit. These small moments of warmth are what keep men trapped. They function as false hope. And false hope is more dangerous than clear rejection, because it keeps you in a position, chasing stability in a situation that has become fundamentally unstable. Here's what the inconsistency actually is. Divided loyalty. A woman emotionally standing in two places at once. She's not confused. She's torn. And she's letting you feel the turbulence of her internal conflict instead of giving you the clarity you deserve. The relationship feels unstable because it is unstable. And no amount of patience or effort from your side stabilizes something that is being destabilized from hers. This is the one that breaks men after the fact, because by the time the official ending happens, the conversation, the fight, the announcement, he feels blindsided. She looks calm. He looks shattered. And he doesn't understand why she seems fine. She seems fine because she already left. Not physically, emotionally. Long before the last conversation, her effort started fading. Her instinct to protect the relationship started fading. The internal investment that makes a relationship actually function, gone. Quietly, in pieces. The external structure kept going. The routine, the shared space, the surface-level interactions. But underneath, the foundation had already cracked and started collapsing. She grieved the relationship, in private over time, while you were still in it thinking everything was recoverable. That's why a man who only watches for dramatic proof wakes up too late. The deepest exits are always emotional first, visible second. More time alone, more closed-off nights, more "I just need space" without explanation. And if you question it, you're suffocating her. So you back off. Because you don't want to be that guy. Space in a healthy relationship is normal, real, necessary. But space that arrives alongside a guarded phone, constant defensiveness, dead conversations, cold intimacy, unprovoked irritation, and emotional inconsistency, that's not space. That's preparation. She's creating distance because she's already mentally relocating. The space isn't for her to miss you. The space is for her to build something else without the friction of your presence making it harder. And by the time the space becomes official distance, by the time she says what she's already been doing for months, you realize the relationship didn't end in one dramatic scene. It ended in silence, in shifts, in the gradual erosion of warmth that you kept explaining away because you weren't ready to face what it meant. So what do you do with this? You don't panic, you don't interrogate, you don't beg, you don't turn yourself into a private investigator, trying to force a confession out of someone who has already decided. Men who do that don't get answers. They get pity. And pity is the most humiliating thing a man can receive from a woman he loved. But you also don't gaslight yourself. You don't call it nothing when the pattern is screaming. You don't keep offering loyalty into a space that is no longer being protected on the other side. You don't compete with a man who may already be winning simply because he's receiving the energy that used to be yours. The real lesson is this: a man who fights for a position he's already lost emotionally does not look loyal. He looks broken, and staying in something out of fear of loss, when the loss has already happened invisibly, doesn't protect you. It just delays your recovery. Pay attention early. Respect what you observe. Trust the pattern more than you trust the explanation. And never stay so blind that the truth has to humiliate you publicly before you'll finally accept what you privately already knew. Rewire your mind. Reclaim your power.